I say New York is the most exciting city in the world. It's not the most beautiful, but it's the most exciting. Paris is more beautiful, London is more beautiful, but New York is exciting. It has life, I mean, it pulsates with life. I know New York City better than I knew my mother country. With that, China has changed since my days. I left China 70 years ago. But New York's constantly changing, and I'm here with the change.
The people that live in different neighborhoods in New York have their own different tendencies and cultures. The Centurion is really at the epicenter of the verve and the energy of New York. On 56th Street, just by Fifth Avenue, it embodies the essence of fashion, energy, music, culture, food, people, activity. And that's why New York and the Centurion are made for each other.
Nobu 57, Michael, Town, restaurants and Chamber Hotel, Four Seasons, retail. I mean, you name it, we pretty much are 3 minutes away from it. Bergdorf Goodman, Barney, Saks Fifth Avenue, Prada, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Chanel, Dior. The list is really endless. You have the University Club, the Metropolitan Club, a couple of minutes away, a couple of blocks away, and Carnegie Hall, and absolutely Central Park. I mean, probably the most brilliant gem in New York City.
Centurion it's kind of a fun project for me. It's also there's certain emotional content in it, which I mentioned earlier. It's a small project. It's in New York. It involves my son and also my friend's son.
The Centurion is intended to be a landmark of Manhattan. And all of us on the team, from the Pays, the Antonio family, and myself, feel the responsibility and the need to exceed the standards that exist as far as expectations are concerned, and to deliver for not only people who live in the building, but people who live nearby the building, a piece of art.
The Centurion epitomizes subtle elegance, situated in one of the best locations in New York City. With fewer than 50 apartments, acquiring an apartment in the Centurion is like possessing a collectible. It's one of those rare units that you just have to have.
Well, we've taken a holistic approach to this project because we really have an opportunity to address every single aspect of this project. And it is one of the reasons why we refer to it as a jewel box, because it really is a discrete object that can be dealt with in all manner of detail, from the very largest elements to the very smallest ones.
In this particular case, because the building is not a very tall building, we're in the middle of a block, we have only 100 feet frontage. We can only build 16 stories. So therefore, it's a small building. But because it is small, and I said earlier, the face becomes important because you want to see this building from Fifth Avenue. Candy corner from Fifth Avenue, walking past while you're shopping at Winston for jewelry or whatever that maybe you want to look in and you want to see something. That angle, the building has to speak, say, I am here. I chose French limestone instead of travertine because it's a better stone. It's a stronger stone and has a nicer color. I've used that stone many places, including the Four Seasons Hotel in New York. It's one of the best limestone in the world, and it's quarry out of Burgundy. Robbie and Roy asked me, is it expensive stone? I said, probably it is, relatively speaking, but compared with the overall cost of the project, it's not significant. I think you can afford it. Detailing of the facade makes or breaks a design of a building.
And you look at the building and see this cascade effect. Then we introduced these, we call them lanterns. There are five double height spaces, unique features, which we imagine at nighttime will be beautiful when they're illuminated. They really will read like lanterns. My father calls them the face of the building.
I think we are quite lucky to have Roy and Robbie. They're very open-minded. You know, when I think I remember Roy asked me, what would you consider something you cannot give up in this project? In other words, you've got to, and I mentioned a few things, and he stuck to it. He has never questioned it. Roy and Robbie said, yes, let's try. If those are important to you, let's try and do it. I like that. You don't often find that in clients, you know, especially when developers are involved. Usually they count pennies, you know, then you have problems.
I'm convinced that this is going to be a living experience that is not available anywhere within Manhattan, especially in this part of town. This is a new building which is rare for this location. It's virtually every floor has wound up being different. The amount of variety in the number of units is most unusual in a building that comprises fewer than 50 units. The maximization of space is also felt in the individual rooms. Generously proportioned widths of living rooms and bedrooms, 5 fixture bathrooms, things that are above the standard that you would expect even in the luxury market as we perceive it. Building, quality. The location, unparalleled. The space in the apartments, the way they're configured, is something that cannot be matched within a 10-block radius that I'm aware of.
It's a small building. It's almost 50 unique apartments rather than 5 or 6 that are repeated 15 or 10 times. And this makes it a very, very unusual and in a sense collectible building because no apartment is going to be the same.
It takes a lifetime of sophistication to be simple. And that is one of the theories that is behind the Centurion. Simplicity that is born out of a lifetime of study and example and sophistication.
We have created truly a landmark on 56th Street, and we think it can be one of the great buildings of New York City.
Life. Life is architecture, and architecture is a mirror of life.